A key was provided. Hello everyone, and Adam here. I'm talking about Kristala again. Now, I already talked about this game, and for the most part, the demo remains largely the same, but this is an update to showcase all the new changes they put into the demo, mostly technical changes, and I think it warrants a brand new update. Now, first off, yes, I got a key, and I know the developers on a personal level. I met them at New York Plays, so I know them, so want to disclose that right away. So Kristala is basically a Souls-like game with cats, if that's appealing to you. The game has a combination of Dark Souls and Sekiro to put it into perspective. Not as fast as Sekiro, but a bit faster than Dark Souls. So with the demo, I'm just going to explain kind of the updates. My first impression has relatively everything that I wanted to say about the story and everything else in the game. So first off, the updates. The biggest improvement that they made to the game is definitely the frame rate. Yeah, there are dips here and there, but for the most part, they've definitely improved the technical quality of this game, and it's worth noting. Also, the sound effects have been improved. That was a major issue I had with the original demo. No longer do the footsteps only have one sound effect. They actually have two. You have sound effects when you're in the water. I know this all sounds basic, but sound design is one of the most difficult things in game development because it has a whole slew of options that you have to go through when the player is engaging with the environment. Not saying that any other department in game development isn't as important. Every single one of them has to work together at 100% for something to fully be fleshed out, but the sound has definitely been improved. The other thing is that the game does run a lot better. Like I said, the frame rate runs better. The overall game just has a better polish to it than the previous demo. The other big improvement is definitely the interface. The interface has seen a massive improvement compared to the original. I felt like the interface in the first one felt more like a tech demo, which it kind of was, but here it's definitely a lot better in terms of how it's just presented to the player and showcases the different parts of the menu in a lot more appealing way while being easier to navigate. Now, that being said, the game isn't perfect. Like I said, there are a lot of issues that they have to work on. The first thing that I feel like they do need to improve on is the leveling system. Now, it's mainly because of the leveling system's menu. When you go into the menu for the leveling, you can see just this static image. I'm sure they'll improve it later, but definitely have some sort of like After Effects or something to make it look a little more than just like a JPEG of that image. Like they could put the title screen on the leveling screen and it would look way better. It just looks too cheap in my opinion. The last thing I think they should improve on is the way that characters are idle. Now, when you go through the environment, you'll see that the characters kind of just, the NPCs and enemies are just waiting for you to come by for them to do something. Like here, the sneaking has been dramatically improved. Sneaking is a viable option, but it's not terribly overpowered. There are some enemies who have better awareness, so they'll definitely spot you, especially the long-range enemies, if you try and exploit the sneaking. But either way, I felt like the enemies just are waiting there for you to do something. You're the main character, I get that, but I feel like adding some animations of them looking around, even walking around the environment would add a lot more life to the game, especially with the bug enemies. Like, they're supposed to be natural to the environment, so maybe have them scurry around, look back, dig into the ground, you know, some sort of something to make them feel like they are definitely alive in this world. The last thing, this is kind of a technical bug, but it was when I got to the final boss of the level of the demo, there was no like introduction to the enemy. It just was that fog wall. I'm sure that's just a bug. They'll fix it later. But I did have a problem with how the final graphic appears when you defeat the boss. When you defeat it, it says proven completed. I feel like it should be like a bit more of a like celebration that you completed the boss. Like, you know, this is a Souls-like game, so I'm sure a lot of us are familiar when you defeat a boss in a Souls-like game. It says demon defeated, demigod defeated, or, you know, nightmare slain. Something that showcases that you've accomplished something so you feel really good about yourself. It sounds very trivial, but it does make or break a boss fight when you reach the finale of it, and then it gives you that kind of like, oh my god, I'm finally defeated, thank you, exhaust when you just finally get to the end. But overall, I think they've made huge strides in the small time they've had. Oh, this is something I probably didn't talk about, but they also made navigating the world a little more seamless in the sense that you can't just walk into houses now. Like, there are some that have cracks in the bottom or holes in the roof. I think that's really cool. Like, it definitely adds more weight to exploration. But you know, this game has seen a major improvement on the technical quality, which was a major complaint when I first made this impressions. So if you want to try the game, there's a link below. Go show some support, and that'll be it from me. Like the video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it. Sub goes a long way, and I'll see y'all later. Goodbye.